You wake up. Dream and reality are still tangled in the half-light, in the spinning stillness, the cozy warmth. The world arrives in pieces, a puzzle falling together. The ceiling, the clock, the shape of a hand. The day is a well-worn script. Same talk, same roads, same places. A functional existence. A life that works. Makes sense in all of its calculated rhythms. But just beyond the edge of the script, there's another version of you. One who takes a new train, turns down a random street, steps into the wrong establishment, says yes to something reckless and wild. The version of you where you step into your life like a splash of color across a blank canvas. You wonder which is true. One happens, one does not. But what if there's truth in your psyche? We tell ourselves that truth is singular, that it sits like a stone. But truth is elastic. Truth is jazz. It bends, it improvises, it finds the right rhythm for the room. History is the same. So is love. So is revolution. History is written by the victors, but it's rewritten by the storytellers. Wars aren't fought just over territory. They're also fought over the right to shape the narrative. The past isn't just a ledger of facts, but it's more a series of revisions, each more fantastical than the last. The better story swallows the truth whole. A love story, for instance. A love story isn't a couple with two kids in a box store checking their budget spreadsheet. A love story is eyes across the room, clothing flung to the wind, dramatic pronouncements of always and ever. A love story is jazz. It's an unplanned harmony, a melody you didn't know you knew, an aching dissonance that tries to resolve just when you think it won't. That moment, that sharp inhale, that jolt of recognition, that's the beginning of the better story. Reality moves forward whether we're paying attention to it or not. But we're not just built for reality. We're built for myth, for memory, for the sharp relief of a shadow thrown against the wall by candlelight. And the better story always wins. It always has. Yes, truth is jazz, fluid, restless, bending the air in the room. It's the river, cutting the new paths, shifting the course, shaping the earth as it moves. The melody that never plays the same way twice. You have one version of the truth, of a life, a love, a night. But the truth is bigger than that. Truth moves from all sides. We catch only the sliver of it that we're standing near. Somebody else sees the same thing, translates it completely differently. Truth isn't just what happened. It's how we felt about it. It's what lingers after the event. It's like a song that echoes after the last notes faded out. Yes, the better story wins. This is why people dance harder when the world is ending. Why poets drink in cheap bars. Why gamblers double down when the odds are against them. Why cities burn. But also why hope abides. Because reality moves forward, whether we're paying attention to it or not. But then we're not built for just reality. We're built for myth, for memory, for the sharp relief of a shadow thrown against the wall by candlelight. Truth isn't just what happens. It's what we see, what we remember, what we retell. It's shaped by the angle of our gaze, the flicker of our perspective. The observer effect applies not just to particles, but to history, to love, to every story we ever tell ourselves. Thus we shape a better story, one that bends toward nirvana, but leaves room for the unexpected. Because the better story isn't a lie. It's the truth, heightened, sharpened, made into something that hums when you touch it. And in the end, it's the version that sticks. The better story wins because it doesn't just explain, it encompasses. It connects those loose threads. It stretches enough to include the chaos we don't fully understand. It discards gentle truth for a compelling harmony. The better story shapes what's possible. It draws you in. It invites you to participate, to believe, to add your brushstrokes to the painting. Myths tell us what we want to believe. That we're the good guys, that the arc of history bends toward justice, that fate is written in clear, bold strokes. But history is jazz, improvised, shifting, full of wrong notes and unexpected harmonies. But the better story wins because we need it to. Because we don't want to believe that our heroes had blood on their hands. Because we don't want to acknowledge the cost of empire. The bodies beneath the monuments. The real reasons wars start and economies collapse. The better story lets us sleep at night. But every now and then, a truth breaks through. A forgotten letter, a buried document, a whispered confession on a deathbed. And for a moment we hear the real song, the raw, unfiltered sound of history as it was, not as we needed it to be. Beneath the surface of the better stories we tell ourselves, there's a quiet hum, a vibration that indicates a deeper, more authentic truth. Once the noise has subsided, the cacophony of opinions and the endless debates have finally fallen silent, a strange stillness descends, a quiet hum beneath the surface. Not the silence of emptiness, but a vibration, a subtle awareness that something is shifting. It's the better story. People are starting to listen, not to the loudest voices, not to the most divisive rhetoric, but to the quiet hum beneath the surface. They're tuning into a deeper frequency, a resonance that transcends the political, the social, the mundane. Listen for it. Seek out the stories that resonate with your deepest self. Be willing to rewrite your own narrative, to embrace the uncertainties and complexities that make life so rich. Because in the end, the better story wins, and the hum beneath it never stops.